Good morning, my peoples. Boxing for breakfast is about to kick off in a few minutes, y'all. Get ready for that smoke. Got a little shower, a little rain going down over here. Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, when you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Woo. We talking boxing, my peoples. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do it. Salute to everybody already tuning in. Toy Mafia in the building. Side. Yeah, my peoples. You know how we're gonna do this, right? Y'all know we're gonna talk boxing. First of all, let me say good morning to everybody. Enjoy your breakfast. If that's what you're on right now. You get ready to go to work. Do your thing. Let's get this money today. But for now, we want to talk boxing. Ladies and gentlemen. Well, gentlemen, I'm pretty sure. Um, Ryan Garcia went live yesterday. And whoa, he really went at Devin Haney during that live. Was talking about, I'm Devin Haney's real father. Those were his words. He like, nah. Bill Haney is not Dev's father. I'm his real father. Ricky Ortega, what's up, man? Have you ever done boxing? What is the farthest level you've made it in? So I boxed as an amateur. I fought in the Golden Gloves and the New York Golden Gloves. I went to the semifinals. As a professional, I only had one fight, and I lost. That was at 44 years old. So I wanted to step in the ring, and I got the opportunity at 44 for somebody that was a lot younger, 35-year-old. So ended up taking an L, and there you go. That's my experience in the ring. My peoples, Ryan Garcia, clowning Devin Haney, talking about, nah, Bill is not his father. I'm his father. I'm Devin Haney's pops. So he went on that live and, you know, he let it be known what it was. He also spoke about the fact that he's going to be obviously fighting Mario Barrios next for that WBC strap. But, he spent a little time letting it be known that he's Devin Haney's daddy. So, listen, I'm glad to see that Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting a title fight with Mario Barrios. Why? Well, just think about it. Best case scenario, if it happens, Ryan Garcia becomes a world champion at the welterweight division, and possibly his very first fight is a unification with Devin Haney. Whoa. Daniel Negron. I would love for them to fight again. Ryan and Devin. I think that's a fight everybody want to see. Simply because, number one, the way the first fight played out, obviously Ryan Garcia putting hands on Devin the way that he did. He won the fight, and then, the whole controversy, the allegations of the Osterin and all of that stuff. So, we need a rematch. But what better way to have a rematch than a unification? Devin Haney, a world champion. Ryan Garcia, a world champion. Boom, there you go at it. And by the way, look, one thing that I've been saying is that Ryan Garcia is going to become a world champion. And I've been saying that for a long time. I didn't know when or I don't know if this is it right now. I haven't made a prediction yet on this fight. But I tell you, man, I felt like Ryan Garcia is someone who was going to hold the title. And right now, he's on the verge of that. My people, raining cats and dogs over here. So, I think we all want to see that fight. We all want to see Ryan and Devin get it in. But right now, Devin already did what he had to do. Devin shocked the world. Ryan Garcia is the one who has his job ahead of him. And it's a tough challenge, man. I don't know if Ryan Garcia is actually going to be the favorite for that fight. I think he's going to be the underdog. I think, taking into account that he's moving up, I think he's going to be the underdog. But I got to say, my peoples, there's the guy right here that got to get his respect. Got to give him his respect. After, the way that things played out and after what people were saying, Daniel Negron, you think he beat Mario Barrios? Does Ryan Garcia beat Mario Barrios? Look, right now, I'm standing at 50-50, right? That's right now. The reason I'm standing at 50-50 is because I got to analyze some things first. And I'm not leaning either way right now because Mario Barrios is a legit world champion. Hold on, and he's been in the big stage. And they both have Tank Davis in common. So, it's hard for me to say. But I think it's such a competitive fight that both guys have a chance to win it. That's why I say 50-50. before I make a prediction, I really have to make an assessment. Because Barrios can fight, Ryan Garcia can fight. And I'm going to say something. I feel like Ryan Garcia is one of the most underrated boxers of today. Gotta be one of the most. You know why? Because when you bring up Ryan Garcia, according to everybody, well, not everybody, but according to a lot of people, all he got is a left hook. That's it. Left hook and that's it. And let me tell you something. That's cap. If you watch Ryan Garcia, he's a guy that has a lot that he can do. He does a great job to the body. He has stopped opponents to the body. So the notion that all Ryan Garcia has is a left hook is false. That's his knockout punch. You know, that's the shot that he's gonna sleep you with. But that's not all he got. That's false. That is 100% false. Watch the 10. Go look for the Ryan Garcia highlights. Look at the straight right hand that he got. Look at the combination punching. Pop, 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 pop. Look at the speed. So the notion that Ryan Garcia, all he has is a left hook, that's false. If all he had was that left hook, he would never land it. He landed that left hook because he's giving you other stuff to think about. So therefore, when the left hook comes, it's fast. No diddy. But it's fast and it's gonna hurt you. Gonna hurt you. Which Devin Haney experienced it. So does Ryan Garcia have a chance against Mario Barrios? Hell yeah. That's a good fight. That's a very competitive. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this is the type of showdown where it's gonna be kind of like Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. I'm not saying as action packed, not necessarily. What I mean is that a fight is gonna break out early. It's not gonna take too long. Why? I feel like Mario Barrios is gonna try to apply that pressure on Ryan Garcia, which we see that a lot when a fighter goes up to a new division, at least in the beginning of the fight. That guy that's supposed to be naturally bigger tries to, let me impose my weight until things could change. Which, that's what we saw with Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., by the way. If you watch that fight, which most of us did, if not all of us, those first couple of rounds, it's like Brian Norman Jr. was just trying to walk Devin Haney down. But then he started catching some nasty leather, and it made him hesitant. Brian Norman Jr. went from being on attack mode to one punch at a time, one leaping left hook, trying to rush in to let the hands fly. And that jab from Devin Haney, I think is hilarious, comical, just straight up funny. How Devin Haney's jab all of a sudden became one of the things that people wanted to criticize leading up to the fight. Oh, he got that bow and arrow. He got that bow and arrow. So that means that Brian Norman Jr. is going to go over that with the right hand and knock him out. Word? That's how you feel about it, son? That's the thing that people was like, I can't believe that leading up to the fight, especially the last week, people was finding all these flaws in Devin Haney's game. Oh, he got that bow and arrow. Brian Norman Jr. is going to just break him. Huh? Oh, not because he always putting the hand down. And Brian Norman Jr., bro, this guy's 30-0. What are you talking about? 30-something and 0? multi-division champion, youngest undisputed in history, and you talking about flaws that he got in his game? Because them 30-something fighters he got in the ring with, ask them about them flaws. Ask them, them 30-something people who lost to Devin Haney about the so-called flaws that he got. His bow and arrow, jab that is no good. Jabbed the shit out of Brian Norman Jr. face. Y'all seen it? That jab, whole body weight behind it. Devin Haney's whole 100 and whatever 50 something he was weighing was behind that jab. Boom! Boom! The whole... Yo, it felt like he was pushing off. Even his pinky was on that push. Boom! Daniel Negron. Why couldn't Ryan beat Rolly? That was a surprise for me. Styles make fights. Simple as that. Styles make fights. And that night, Rolly won. Maybe that's not the type of fight that Ryan Garcia was expecting. Maybe he wasn't expecting Rolly to be using that jab like that and box as much as he did. I think that's a possibility. Ryan was preparing for Rollies that's coming to brawl, and I'm going to catch you and I'm going to knock you out. Well, Rollies was different that night. And I said it like, I've never seen this version of Rollies. He working with Cuban legend Salas. And they got him on point. Rollies jab, his movement, everything. We saw Rollies boxing. Box fans, 1,000. Yup, the better man won. But he has to beat Ryan to make me forget about that butt whooping he got. Now, listen, that's the one thing, and I agree with you. Because even though they overturned the loss, right? Because Ryan Garcia did beat him, and then they overturned it. It's a no contest, right? But you can't make us forget about that beating. Like, we watched it, and it's there. We all remember it. Like, we don't even have to watch the replay. We just remember that left hook landing over and over. Boom, 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 and Devin Haney hitting the canvas. So Devin Haney need his gig back, but he wants it. Now, what better scenario? Think about it. What better scenario is there than Ryan Garcia beating Mario Barrios, becoming a world champion, and the rematch goes down as a unification fight? Bro, that's the best case scenario. Outside of them fighting for undisputed, that is the best case scenario. Both of them world champions for the rematch. The very much anticipated rematch, which would break the internet. It would shatter the internet. But Devin Haney already did what he had to do. Ryan Garcia is the one that got to execute. I'm telling you, yesterday, I don't know if y'all saw the live, but he was like, yo, I'm Devin Haney's real father. Okay, not Bill. It's not Bill. He knows it's me. I'm his father. So this is a fight that I think everyone who's a boxing fan wants to see it. So if you want to see this fight soon, the avenue for it to happen is Ryan Garcia beating Mario Barrios. That's the avenue. If Ryan loses that fight, I think we still gonna get Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, but we probably don't get it right after. We probably get maybe Devin versus Barrios or versus someone else. But just like, remember, Devin was supposed to fight Ryan after the Rollies fight. It's just that Ryan lost. So that's why they didn't fight next. What does that mean? If he loses, of course Devin is not going to fight him coming off of a loss. Box fans, Barrios ain't no easy job. Nah, that's facts. Barrios, that's why I'm saying, to me right now it's 50-50, and I can't just make a prediction like that with that fight. I have to analyze it, take some time, and eventually I'll come through with my prediction. Which, by the way, if you want to see my prediction on this fight, you will have to go on Box Center 2.0. And my peoples, I already announced it. The debut show, the debut episode is going to be on Monday of the nighttime show. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0 because it's only going to be on that channel. And guess what the name of the show is going to be? Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast. Y'all don't want to miss it. Like I told you, it's going to be a hotline. You're going to be able to call in. We're going to be talking. We're going to be arguing. We're going to be debating. It's going to be crazy. So go ahead and subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. If anybody in the chat is subscribed to Box Center 2.0, share the link in the comments, my people. I would appreciate that. So, once again, my peoples, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. For that to happen, Ryan Garcia has to win. Ryan Garcia has to win that fight. But Devin Haney's going to have options. You have to see, coming off of a win like this, when your stock just skyrocketed, he's going to have options. People want to get in the ring with Devin. People want those paydays. Somebody told me yesterday Canelo want the rematch. You know why Canelo want the rematch with Crawford? He want payday. He want payday. That's why he want the rematch with Bud. Bud giving out paydays now. He the one giving out paydays. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Terrence Crawford is giving out paydays. I'm just calling it how I see it. Adari Panat, what do you think about Jared Anderson versus Frank Sanchez next for the IBF final eliminator? I really like that fight, man. That's a very competitive fight. I've been kind of down on Jared Anderson for some time before he lost. The fight that he lost with Bacoli, I said he was going to lose that fight. I've been kind of down on him because a couple of years ago, I already think it's like maybe 3-4 years ago, he said that he don't really care about no titles. He getting money and it's about the money. So I kind of started seeing him the way we see Edgar Berlanga right now. Edgar Berlanga talk all that talk. He the king of New York and all that. But he didn't even make it competitive against Canelo. And Hamza Shiraz done beat the crap out of him. They're like, hey. It's like, hey, you talking all that talk. We don't want to hear it. So we don't want to hear all that. You talking all that, you hard and all that, and you getting all this money. So when I hear a fighter who hasn't accomplished anything yet start talking about money and behaving like they're this big star, I feel like that fighter's not gonna go far. Like they don't have the discipline to go far, because if you're already bragging about money and already feeling like you there, like you made it, you're not gonna make it. You got a long way to go. Jared Anderson, he never won a title. Edgar Berlanga, he never won a title. He never been at the top. But you see the way he calling himself the king of New York. According to him, he the king of New York. It's like, wait a minute. But you got Teofimo Lopez right there, who's a world champion. Who's actually, multi-division world champion. You got Richardson Hinches, who's a world champion. How you the king of New York when your 2 title shots you got beat up? So I think Jared Anderson, and that's just my opinion, he got a chip on his shoulder. Jared Anderson got to prove himself. You see how Devin Haney unlaced. Bam, salute my brother. You see how Devin Haney had to prove himself against Brian Norman Jr. for people to say, damn, yeah, fuck it, he got it. He got it. Well, the same deal with Jared Anderson and Edgar Berlanga. They both got to prove themselves. Because you can't talk all that, get beat up, and not come back and do something. You got to show that you are who you say you are, or you are who people believe you think you are. Just a few years ago, Tyson Fury was saying Jared Anderson was next. He was going to be the next big. And if you think about it, he's dropped off the radar. Who's really talking about Jared Anderson as the next big heavyweight or the next big thing? Nobody. And the way that I see him moving, I don't think he want to get in there with no Moses Itauma. I don't think so. I don't think he want to get in there with no Terra Moana. He getting beat up. Them people beating him up. So, but let's see if Jared Anderson is now somebody who's more focused, who's trying to get in there and do his thing. Because we talking about title eliminator, and like I said, just a few years ago, he was talking about he don't care for titles, that he's just trying to make his money. So we'll see how that plays out. But Ryan Garcia, you know, getting on his live and saying that Devin Haney is his son. He literally said Bill Haney's not his father. I'm his real father. This is just setting the stage up. If Ryan Garcia beats Mario Barrios to become a world champion, we're going to see a unification with Devin Haney. That's going to make that rematch a lot bigger, y'all. Now, we have to take one thing into consideration. The rematch would be taking place at a higher division, at 147. And most likely, there won't be any rehydration clause or anything like that. They'll just fight straight up at 147 and get to work. Adari, I hear Alexander Usyk want to fight in a next. Want to fight who next? Who he want to fight next? I gotta say, my peoples, in the welterweight division, we have to consider how does that fight play out. How does Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia play out at that weight class? Right now, it's hard to really measure it because we haven't seen Ryan fighting at the welterweight division, right? We already saw Devin. Devin looks spectacular. Fast, strong, light on his toes, all of it. But how is Ryan gonna look versus Mario Barrios? That's what we have to see. How is Ryan Garcia gonna look? Because we've known for a long time that he struggled with making weight. You know, when he was at 135, when he was at 140. So could it be that Ryan Garcia gets to the welterweight division and we see the best version of him? Could that happen? Could we get the best version of Ryan Garcia in his very next fight at the welterweight division? Because it seems like that's what we got from Devin Haney. Adari, I heard Alexander Usyk want to fight in America next. It could happen. He's such a great champion that if he wants to fight somebody in the U.S., I think the best option with him would be for him to obviously pick an American heavyweight if he wants to fight in the U.S., right? Maybe Jared Anderson wins and says, okay, let me fight you. Rasheed White, good morning. Just wanted to comment, Devin Haney is a good fighter, but Brian Norman is not even top 10. The thing about not even top 10 is Not even top 10 where? Because not even top 10 becomes an opinion. Do you mean not even top 10 where? Because he's the world champion. So in his sanctioning body, he's the world champion. So not even top 10 of what? Come on now. You have to you have to understand something, Rashid. You have to take that into consideration. Most of the people were saying that Brian Norman Jr. was gonna knock Devin Haney out. There's a possibility that you were saying that. I'm assuming that you were, right? So you thought that Brian Norman Jr. was gonna knock Devin Haney out. Devin Haney's making his debut in the welterweight division. Brian Norman Jr. is considered the best welterweight in the world. So I don't know what you mean. Brian Norman's not even top 10. Like, if he's not top 10 in your opinion, I respect that. But that's a monster win from Devin Haney. You're like trying to take away from it, but you're gonna fail miserably. When you look at the narrative that Devin Haney was gonna get knocked out, that Norman Jr. hits too hard, that Norman Jr. is gonna sleep him, and then the way that fight played out, and all you guys that Brian Norman Jr. is not top 10, you're in a lonely island with that one, bro. Daniel Negron, Ryan got to do better with Barrios, even if it's a tough fight. I mean, again, we're going to see Ryan Garcia at the welterweight division for the first time. Like, he's going to be fighting Mario Barrios, and how is he going to look? Because look what everybody expected, that Devin Haney was going to be horrible. They expected that Devin Haney was going to be weak, Brian Norman Jr. was going to be strong and knock him out. Those were the expectations. Yet, we got the best version of Devin Haney. Come on, you have to acknowledge that. Look at what were the expectations versus what actually happened. People expected Devin to go to sleep, and they were like, nah, 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 nah. It's not gonna be me going to sleep. And I put it to you like this. Although a lot of people were surprised by the outcome of this fight, y'all know I wasn't. Y'all know that I was telling you, Devin Haney's gonna win this. He's gonna outbox him. Daniel Negron, Ryan got it. Oh, okay, yeah. He's gonna listen. Can Ryan Garcia beat Mario Barrios? We're gonna find out. And like I said, my peoples, I am gonna make my prediction. You can expect it. But that prediction for that fight is gonna drop on Box Center 2.0. So you better be subscribed so you don't miss it. And the new show, my peoples, is gonna drop on Monday. That's next week. What's the name of the show? Goofiest of the Oofiest. My peoples, you don't want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. The debut episode of Goofiest of the Oofiest is dropping tomorrow. I mean, on Monday. My peoples, I'm going to go ahead and put the link up for Box Center 2.0. Make sure you subscribe. Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast, is only gonna drop on Box Center 2.0, my peoples. You do not want to miss it. There's gonna be a hotline. You'll be able to call in. You'll be able to trash talk, make your predictions, even if you want to argue with me. But you're gonna have a whole minute to go off, my people. There you have it right there, pinned in the comments. Box Center 2.0. My people, subscribe. Goofiest of the Oofiest is going to be crazy. You do not want to miss the debut episode. You don't want to miss it, period. There you go with that, my people. Gotta plug my show. Gotta plug my channel. And salute to everybody who's been supporting y'all. Real talk. Adari, who win? Teramoana, or Zile Zhang? I'm going with Teramoana. Well, no. I don't know. I really got to think about that. You putting me on the spot. That's a tough prediction to make. But You put me on the spot. You tell me who's gonna win. Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. Who's gonna win that fight? Yeah, tell me, my peoples. Cause Mario Barrios is a tough fight. It's a tough fight. But we all know styles make fights. And Ryan Garcia, I believe, has a style that can beat him. But let me know what you think, my peoples. Ryan Garcia. Let me see if I could get that. If I could get that image. Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Who's gonna win that fight? Daniel Negron. I got Barrios. Ooh, come on, man. Do you got the fight going the distance, or do you got Barrios stopping Ryan? How do you see it playing out? Let me see if I could get set for that real quick. How will Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios play out? Adari Penat also got Barrios. Whoa. So what are we saying over here? Unanimous for Mario Barrios? Let me find out. Is Barrios gonna be the favorite amongst the box center community? Daniel Negron going the distance. You got Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios going 12 rounds. 12 rounds of action. Okay. Okay. But you do realize that this is the type of fight that could end up in a knockout, right? Like, I'm sure you're not ruling that out. I'm saying, with these two, you can't rule out a knockout because they both got it in them to put somebody to bed. My peoples. Ryan Garcia versus Adari Barrios by TKO. Ooh, we got a stoppage. We got a stoppage now. Man, I thought y'all was going to be like, yeah, Ryan got this. Ryan got this. It's like that. Straight up. Unanimous decision. People think Mario Barrios is going to send either Ryan Garcia packing with a decision or with a TKO finish. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. With the skill set of Ryan Garcia, it's hard for me to just say that Barrios is going to do him in like that. Daniel Negron. I know Ryan got a good left hook. See, but the thing about that is that he has a lot more than a good left hook. A lot more, bro. I find it crazy that that just became the narrative. Yes, he can knock you out with the left hook. But if that's all he had, really, he would never land it. He lands that left hook because he got a real good jab that he could put in your face real fast like a whip. Bang! And it makes you think. He land that left hook because he could throw combinations. Because he's a good body puncher. He could hurt you to the body. Ryan Garcia has stopped opponents to the body. So he has a lot in his offensive arsenal, and people act like it's just the left hook. It's not. It's not just the left hook. He has a lot. Yo, Ryan Garcia's straight right hand will put you out. The 1-2, bang! It'll put you out. So I think, look, this is going to sound funny. It's going to sound crazy. But Ryan Garcia is probably one of the most underrated boxers of today. And I say underrated. People find him overrated because they think, oh, he's such a big star. He hasn't won anything. I'm referring to his skills. He's underrated skills-wise. You know, when people say he just got a left hook, he just got a left hook, or he got a good left hook. They don't see everything else that he actually has. Ryan Garcia has a great jab. He has a great right hand. He's a great combination puncher. The speed is crazy. He's a great body puncher. Like I said earlier, he has stopped opponents to the body. So the notion that he just got a left hook, that's false, my peoples. That's simply a narrative that was floated around. It became popular because he knocked people out with the left hook. But you gotta see. Look, let me see if I can just show a little something. Let me see. Cause if oh shit, wait a minute. Cause if you look at Ryan Garcia's fights and his wins, it's not just the left hook. I guess the left hook is the popular one because the amount of people that he knocked out with that shot. But come on, my peoples. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. Now look at that. People don't talk about Ryan Garcia's body punching. Look at this, look at this. Check it out. Look at that body shot. Boom! Yo, every single molecule, vitamin, and mineral in that left glove. And look at that one. Boom! Look at that replay. So when people, well, that is a left hook, but a left hook to the body. So when people talk about Ryan Garcia, there's that focus. That perception of he can only do this. And this is all he has. But nah. Like, let me show you something. Look at this left hook that he landed right here. Look at this left hook. There's not a lot of fighters that can land that left hook like that. If you look at his foot is actually out of position. And he's still able to generate power on that punch. So you see Daniel on the ground, when you say, for example, he got a good left hook, but what you don't see, that left hook right there, it was a good right hand that set it up so that then he could go bang. So that's the thing that people have to see, that the left hook is not a punch that you just land on its own. You don't just go out there bang and hit somebody with a left hook. You got to do other things to be able to set that punch up. If not, you're not going to land it, or you're not going to land it good. David, yes, bro. Marie, can Devo Dev beat Rollies? I got him beating Rollies. I got him winning that fight. In reality, man, I don't see, it's tough to beat Devin Haney. It's tough. Honestly, besides Shakur Stevenson, I can't think of anyone beating him that I'll say, this person gonna beat him. It's hard. It's hard. Now, I'm also saying that because right now Tank is out. And Tank is not, gonna be fighting at welterweight, to my understanding. When and if he does come back, I think he will, it'll be at 140. So, but Tank Davis and Devin Haney, because you have to understand, Tank Davis' name always got to come up, right? We want to see Tank Davis versus Tio, versus Shakur, versus Devin. We want to see those fights. You gonna give me a hug? Come on. David, Haney surprised me the other night. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't surprised. The knockdown did surprise me. I ain't gonna cap like that. But him beating Brian Norman Jr. the way he did, that doesn't surprise me. Like, if you've been watching, you know that's actually what I predicted was going to happen. I say he's going to get ahead on the cards, and then Norman Jr. is just not going to be able to catch up, and he's not going to be able to land that big shot. David, I mean his power. That's facts. And, you know, he he didn't knock him out. He didn't stop him. But he still had that sting in his punches to keep him honest. You may have noticed that Brian Norman Jr.'s punch output went down. You know, like he was letting the hands fly in the first couple of rounds, and I guess thinking that he was gonna walk him down and beat him up. But when it became evident, he slowed down. He stopped punching as much. And let me say, Devin Haney, because I see the letter M, salute my brother, mentioned the jab. The jab was insane. And the funny thing about the jab, people were saying that, what does that mean? People were saying that Devin Haney's jab was one of the flaws and one of the reasons why Brian Norman Jr. was going to knock him out. He got the bow and arrow jab, and with that bow and arrow jab, he's not going to be able to. Brian Norman Jr. is going to counter him and knock him out. How did that play out? So this shows you how a lot of fans make assessments. Devin Haney, and you guys can take this into consideration, right? Because I assess it as an analyst. Devin Haney is an undefeated fighter who's won titles in multiple divisions, who's unified titles, the youngest undisputed in history. And at this point in his career, people are looking for a flaw in his jab? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So that shows you it's not about a flaw in his jab. It's about people wanting to find a flaw. I bet you Brian Norman Jr. didn't see that flaw that they was talking about in his jab when they was jabbing the shit out of his face. He didn't see that flaw. So you have to understand, as an analyst, you don't put your feelings into your opinion. My feelings do not go into my opinion, whether I like the fighter or I don't like the fighter. But people start coming up with these crazy talking points that don't even make no sense. You start looking for all these flaws in a guy who's undefeated. His opponents didn't see those flaws. His opponents didn't see those flaws. But you, from your house, from your couch, you see all these flaws. David, he just surprised me with his power, but can't knock him for 3 world champ. Man, 3 division world champion, that's crazy. The letter M, Norman Jr. telling him, his team, y'all lied to me. Look, and I said it before, said it yesterday. Devin Haney did the same thing Shakur did to Zepeda. Remember, people were thinking that Shakur was going to be running, Zepeda was going to be chasing him, cutting off the ring, catching up to him. So try to imagine the type of sparring and sparring partners that Zepeda was bringing in if he thought that Shakur was going to be running. And that's what everybody thought. He was probably bringing in guys that was going to box, that he was going to chase him around. And he ended up getting beat up inside of a phone booth. He never expected that. So now you look at Devin Haney, he was supposed to run. Brian Norman Jr. was going to chase him down with his pillow hands. Devin Haney told him, I'm going to put you down. And he was like, well, what? You ain't got nothing to put me down with. Come on, man. You ain't got nothing to put me down with. And look what happened. Got put down. Pack your shit. Felipe de la Rocha, salute, my brother. Bam. Side in the building. Bam.
Bam.
Tell him, bam.
Damn.
There you have it. Side. Put on his back pocket. They wasn't ready for that. They went in there. If you look at the first few rounds, yo, he was trying to. Brian Norman Jr. went in there like he was gonna walk him down and beat him up. Like that's it. I'ma
Yo
handle
te
you.
veo, papi, en la cara.
Yeah.
Ajá.
You wanna say I love you too?
I love you, Daddy.
I love you too.
Ay, estamos río tu clase.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go to the TV. Go ahead.
Yo, a mi perrito.
The doggy can't go in the house. Leave the doggy over here.
Entonces
Yeah, yeah.
no. Sí.
No. Don't take the doggy. Go without the doggy. David, I always thought if Haney had power as well as his technical ability, he would be serious. Listen, man, Devin Haney at the welterweight division, it seems like he's gonna give us the best version of himself, where he didn't struggle to make weight, where he feels strong, and we're gonna see it. Daniel Negron, are you interested in the Boots and Pitbull fight? Boots and Pitbull? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Boots and Pitbull. Side, see how quickly they stop saying pillow fist? That's it. So much for that narrative. Side, now they say he's boring because he didn't go for the stoppage. Remember, bro, right before the fight, I said Devin Haney was going to win. And now the same people that say he was going to get knocked out, we're going to pivot into saying that they don't like the way that he won. Oh, I don't like the way that he won. David, yeah, right division for him. That's it. That's what Devin Haney's going to reign for a while. Because, I could picture him trying to get more titles and trying to even become undisputed. But I got to say, taking into account the criticism that Devin Haney got, damn, them pillow fist at 147 didn't seem very pillow fisted. If you ask Brian Norman Jr., boy, he walked out of that fight looking like one of them Star Trek characters. So, that's it. Devin Haney shut the haters down for a minute. Now, the Devin Haney haters, they gotta wait or for him to lose or for him to be in a fight that is controversial so they could say something. Because what can you say? You thought he was gonna get knocked out and he does that. What does that say about your assessment, your opinion about what you thought was gonna happen? Well, that you was wrong. That's it. Anybody could be wrong. You was wrong about Devin Haney. Now you could just accept it and be like, yeah, I was wrong. I didn't know he was the guy, but he is. Love more Hinduism. Devin needs respect. Salute, my brother. That's a fact. But I will say, the people that gotta be in front of the line giving him his flowers is the ones who say he was gonna get knocked out. It's the one who said he was not going to be able to handle the power. Brian Norman Jr., was going to walk him down. He didn't have anything to stop Brian Norman Jr. from walking him down. Damn, my peoples, come on now. It's time to say, yo, he got it. Going in there as the underdog, the betting underdog, still got it. David, I'd admit, I thought he wouldn't win as easy as he did. A lot of people didn't think he would win, period. We're talking about people saying he's getting knocked out, getting slapped, getting brutalized. And let me tell you something. Because again, I look at it as an analyst, right? When they first announced the fight, my first reaction was Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock him out inside of 9 rounds. I said it right here on the show. Inside of 9 rounds, he's going to knock him out. shit, damn. Like that, he gonna knock him out. But it only took me like 2, 3 days to take that back. Because that was like a knee jerk reaction to seeing Brian Norman Jr. what he did to Jen Sasaki. So I had a knee jerk reaction, but then I actually sat down, watched Devin Haney, a video that they showed him probably weighing around 150 or 150 something, looking strong, sharp. I said, wait a minute. I took that back. I was like, wait a minute, my peoples. I'm in the middle right now. I'm not making this prediction yet. Hold on. And then I started looking at all these factors. It was a tough prediction to make because I know what Brian Norman Jr. is coming off of doing to other people. But ultimately, after making my assessment, I was like, Devin Haney's gonna beat him. He's gonna beat him by unanimous decision in convincing fashion. And you see the way the fight played out. Side, it will come full circle when Haney gets that rematch. The truth always comes to light. Ryan will be illuminated by Haney's fists. Let's see how it plays out, man. That's a tough fight. I'm gonna tell you something, Sai. There's a possibility, I'm not saying that's the case, but there's the possibility that Ryan Garcia could have Devin Haney's number. I'm not saying that's the case, mind you, but it's possible. Sometimes it happens, right? Go back, and I'm gonna give you an example. Go back to Shane Mosley. When Shane Mosley was undefeated, his first loss was to Vernon Forrest. That was an upset, right? It was a huge upset. Everybody thought Forrest was gonna get beat up. He beats Mosley, right? There's an immediate rematch. I myself say, yo, now Mosley, this time around, now he know you, he know what you do. He gonna beat you up. Yo, in the rematch, Forrest beat Mosley up. Worse. Worse, my peoples. Now, if you look at the resumes, nobody's gonna say Vernon Forrest got a better resume than Shane Mosley. But he beat him. Beat him twice. Let me give you another example. Vernon Forrest, that beat up Mosley twice. You know who gave him his first L? Who gave Vernon Forrest his first L? Does anybody know? Mayorga. Mayorga gave Forrest his first L, then rematched him and stopped him. So think about it. Forrest beat up Mosley twice. And then Mayorga came out of nowhere. Beat him up. And then beat him up in the rematch. And then after that, Mosley went to Mayorga and beat his ass. West doesn't speak on it, brother Jay Smith. Salute, my brother. Bam. Come on now. I know y'all seen the beating that Mosley gave Mayorga. But Mayorga wildin', man. Remember he slapped mostly women's butt and everything? That was too crazy. Corey B smoking cigarettes. And Mayorga, man, he was down and out real bad, real bad. Lost all his money. I don't know if he gambled it away, was on drugs, the women and all that. Let me see. Mayorga. My people, what's going on with Ricardo Mayorga, B? I'm just trying to see if he alright. West Dustin mostly put hands and feet on Mayorga. Gave him the beating of a lifetime. You gonna touch my woman's butt? I got you. Love More Hinduism. Mayorga ended Vargas' career. Whoa. Yeah, but Vargas, I think, was already on his way out. Sai. Hold on, Sai. I got you. Sai, remember Margarito? Cotto rematch? Ooh. Margarito got his get back. Cotto got his get back. Because you know Margarito had that plaster for him in that first fight. You know he had that. He just didn't get busted in that occasion. But he definitely had that. Side, even playing fields make a difference. You know, yo, Margarito, man, he got beat up brutally by Miguel Cotto in that rematch. Brutally. And by the way, man, what he was doing, putting that plaster in his hands, putting that shit, that's crazy, man. You trying to kill somebody out there. Love More Hinduism. I think Devin beats Tank. Given the beats by Dre, um, I don't know. That's a fight, man. That's a fight that I think fight fans want to see. That's a big fight. Now, you know that Devin is fighting at the welterweight division. Tank, I believe he'll be making his debut at 140. And does Tank ever move up to 147? I don't think so. I think the rest of his career may play out at 140. So Devin versus Tank may have to be at a catchweight. Maybe 150, something like that. Shaku hands. Salute, my brother. Bam. Your date for new show is on Sunday. Damn. Then I gotta fix it. I thought, oh shit, I gotta fix it. I thought that was gonna be Monday. Thank you for letting me know, man. I thought that shit was gonna land on a Monday. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Yeah, it's Sunday. It's January 1st. But then again, the show is called Goofiest of the Oofiest. So why not start off with some goofy ass shit? What a way to start it, right? Chris Fontaine, top of the morning. Salute, my brother. Bam. So, my peoples, main topic of conversation. We digressed, right? Ryan Garcia says that Devin Haney's his son. That he's Devin Haney's real father. Those are his words, not mine. Those are Ryan Garcia's words, not mine. That he's Devin Haney's father. Will we get this rematch in 2026? Well, I think it could all depend on whether or not Ryan Garcia beats Mario Barrios. If Ryan can beat Barrios, I believe Devin Haney is potentially the next fight right after that. It can really play out that way. Now, you guys tell me who you have winning that fight. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, if they fight in 2026 at the welterweight division, no restrictions, no rehydration clause, just both of them at welterweight. How does that fight play out? Me personally, I have a hard time making a prediction because it's like I told you before, man. I know Devin Haney looked real good versus Brian Norman Jr., but sometimes there's a fighter out there who has your number, who knows how to land those punches on you. And I don't know if Ryan Garcia has Devin Haney's number. On that fight, he had it. So it's hard to make a prediction. I will, like I said, I'll make my prediction. But I'm not ready, man. I really got to make an assessment on this one. Wes Dustin, Ryan says so much stupid shit leading to the first fight. I don't want to sit through his goofballery again. Devin wins the clean rematch. I mean, look, you also have to acknowledge, Wes Dustin, all that goofballery helped sell the fight. We was all thinking Ryan Garcia is crazy. Ryan Garcia is mental. What the hell is he doing? And all of a sudden he shows up to the fight and beat up Devin Haney. Like, that was crazy. We were not expecting that at all. And that's the thing, that the way that it all played out, with him giving Devin such a beatdown, even though the decision was overturned and it's a no contest. But nobody, people not gonna let that go. Whatever we can say about the decision, about the allegations, about the suspension, but the beatdown was the beatdown regardless. Side, he was off that Osterin. That's why he was acting up. Ryan. Look, man, we don't know because remember, it could have been something that was tainted. What if it was something tainted with Osterin? I'm just saying that's what he said. That something could have been tainted, that they did that to him over at, the people that do the testing. I'm not into conspiracies. I'm just saying what Ryan Garcia says. He said it. He said something was tainted. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. We don't know the facts here. That's all I'm saying. um, but look, we all want to see the rematch. We all want to see it. So what better way for us to get this rematch than for Ryan Garcia to beat Mario Barrios and become a world champion? This is a tough fight, man. And it's a tough prediction to make. Because you guys know Mario Barrios is legit. He's a legitimate world champion. And Ryan Garcia hasn't won a title yet. So I feel like he does have a chip on his shoulder because there's always been that expectation. I know I've always had the expectations that Ryan Garcia would become a world champion. I don't know when. I'm not making a prediction on this fight. I don't know if it's now. But we got to see it. Wes Dustin, I think Barrios beats a clean Ryan too. Let's see. Let's see how it all plays out. But something to consider, Wes Dustin. If Ryan Garcia wins, right? And obviously, they're both being tested. He never popped 30. Are you just going to accept the win, or are you still going to be bringing in that? Oh, was he clean? I don't know if he was clean the way that he won, or are you just going to take the W? Wes Dustin, Barrios was doing better with Tank than Ryan was. Yeah, but by now, I hope that you know that's irrelevant. I hope with me, you have learned that is irrelevant. What happened in the previous fight, remember, you talked about how Rolly beat him up, and so Brian Norman Jr. was going to kill him. What happened in that fight was that fight. That has nothing to do with this fight. So don't use Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, their performance versus Tank, so that you can dictate what happens now. Forget about that. That's going to be irrelevant. This is going to be about the style of Mario Barrios versus the style of Ryan Garcia. And I'm telling you, Wes Dustin, the notion that Ryan Garcia only has a left hook, that is super false. Super false. That's the punch that he can knock you out with. That's the punch that he can hurt you with. But Ryan Garcia has a heck of a right hand. Ryan Garcia has a heck of a jab. That's like a whip. Punch placement combinations. He has a lot in the bag of tools. His offensive firepower is serious. It's not just a left hook. That's a false narrative. Omega Bronzeman. Not enough Osterin to make a difference in that fight. Still think Haney may win a rematch. It's going to be interesting to see. But it's like I told you. That's why I refer you to Vernon Forrest and Shane Mosley. Vernon Forrest has Shane Mosley's number, beat him twice in a row. Nobody ever thought that he was better. And he don't got a better resume. And he didn't beat bigger names. But he has Shane Mosley's number. Then Ricardo Mayorga had Vernon Forrest's number. Beat him twice. Stopped him in the second fight. Nobody believed that Mayorga was better than Forrest, but he had his number. Sometimes a fighter just got your number. And the fact that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fought each other 5 times in the amateurs, even though they've grown from that, they got better, all that stuff, but your style is what it is. And Ryan Garcia, at least the night that they fought, had his number. Because people talking about Osterman, you still gotta land those shots. You still gotta perform, right? Like, if one of you guys take Osterman and you get in the ring, you're gonna get knocked out anyways. You're still gonna get knocked out. Don't get it twisted. None of you guys can take Osterman and get in the ring and beat Devin Haney, right? I think we all know that. So it takes a certain level of skill regardless of whether or not you own something to do what he did. Because you don't think you could take Osterman and beat up or drop a fighter, right? So people say Osterman. You know, that left hook got something to say about that. West does it. All we can judge is by his past performance. No, bro. And what I'm trying to tell you, West does it, is that you never judge by past performance. Ever. You could judge a fighter to dictate, in your opinion, how good he is. Is he an all-time great? Is he based on past performances? But when it's time for a head-to-head matchup, you never judge past. You never judge based past performances. You can use that as one of the factors that you want to consider. But if that's the factor, based on what you're saying, well, then I guess Gamboa should be able to beat Canelo. Because Gamboa wobbled Crawford, and Crawford couldn't, and Canelo couldn't do it. I guess Gamboa is going to put the beats on Canelo, maybe even stop him. Because he wobbled Crawford. What is he going to do to Canelo? So it doesn't work that way. You cannot use a previous performance to dictate what's going to happen in a future fight. It doesn't work that way. You see how you're saying, well, what's Ryan's biggest win? What was Crawford's biggest win before he whooped Canelo? Did that logic work? It did not work. West does it. That logic of, well, look what happened in the other, that never works, bro. That shit get proven wrong and debunked all of the time. Shot cool hands, exactly. But he ain't knocking me out. I'm a giant. Shot cool hands. You getting knocked out. Carrie B. Holyfield had Tyson's number. You see? Holyfield just had him. They could have fought 50 times, and 50 times Holyfield's gonna beat him up. Shot cool hands. That'll be like Fundora. Nah, shot cool hands. It won't be like Fundora because you ain't no world championship caliber fighter, bro. Don't compare yourself to no Fundora. You going to sleep. With a world caliber fighter, with a Ryan Garcia, with a Barrios, you're taking a nap, bro. You're going to bed. Now, if it's somebody in here challenging you, if it's somebody here who don't box challenge you with Austrian, they could still go to sleep. Aciel Espinosas. Good job, Tigre. Congrats. Muchas gracias, hermano. Salute. Bam. Ryan Bascom. We're talking Barrios and Ryan. I mean, that's going down. Well, the main topic of NyQuil, the main topic of conversation, Ryan Garcia was live yesterday, and he said that Devin Haney is his son. That Bill Haney is not his real father. He said, I'm Devin Haney's father. So, of course, we want to see that fight. We want to see it. We want to see that rematch. But for that rematch to happen next, Ryan Garcia has to get past Mario Barrios. Because if you think about it, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia was supposed to happen after their last fights when they fought in Madison in not in Madison Square Garden in New York City in Times Square. In that card, after that, they was gonna fight, but Ryan lost to Rollies. So I bring that up because if Ryan Garcia loses to Mario Barrios, Devin is not gonna fight him coming off of a loss. It's just not gonna happen. So he has to win that fight in order for us to get that rematch next. Ryan Bascom, he said that. Damn, I was watching the live myself, so it's not like I heard or anything or somebody told me. I was watching the live. They were like, Bill Haney is not Devin Haney's father. I'm his real father. He knows that. And he spoke about, Mario Barrios, and he said thank you for taking the challenge, and fighting him. Because obviously Mario Barrios didn't have to fight him. But why would you turn down that bag? You know that Ryan Garcia is one of those guys who's gonna put you on the big stage, and you're gonna get a nice amount of money for that fight. Ryan Bascom, yeah, I don't know. I don't see Devin beating Ryan Garcia, even after Brian Norman Jr. We have to see how it plays out because if Ryan Garcia really has Devin Haney's number, the rematch will play out similar to the way the first fight did. You see Devin Haney having his moments where he's outboxing him, and then you see Ryan Garcia land that big shot and letting the hands fly. Then Devin Haney kind of recovered, boxes some more, then another one, boom. And it could really play out the same way that the first one. That's why I keep referring you guys to Bernal Forrest and Sugar Shane Mosley. Two fights that played out the same way. Mosley beat Bernal Forrest beat Mosley and then beat him worse the second time. And then Mayorga beat Bernal Forrest and then stopped him the second time. So Bernal Forrest had Mosley's number and Mayorga had Forrest's number. Ryan Bascom, he fixed the bow and arrow effect. Man, listen, that bow and arrow effect has been in people's heads. Like I never knew what you guys was talking about. Bow and arrow, bow and arrow. Like Devin Haney 32-0, bro. 33-0, 32-0. Never been beat by anybody. What bow and arrow effect? Ryan, I don't know what you guys was talking about. Ask Regis Prograis about the bow and arrow effect. Ask Lomachenko about the bow and arrow effect. The only people I heard finding a flaw in his jab was you guys in the comments. I never heard no opponent who ate that jab talk about, nah, yo, he got a bad jab. I never seen it. But it's like I told you, that fake narrative about a flawed jab came from, oh, well, he took a beating to Ryan Garcia. He don't got a good jab anymore. All the flaws was fake flaws that was never there, that people made up inside their head, bro. Shit never existed. There was no bow and arrow that he need to fix. West does it. El Azteca has gotten some serious experience these last few years. You think Ryan outboxes Barrios? Honestly, it's tough to say that because I know that Mario Barrios has gotten a lot better than when he lost to Tank Davis. And he's a legitimate world champion for a reason. Can Ryan outbox him? I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that question right now. Like I told you, because of the type of styles that they both present, I really have to take my time to analyze that and make that assessment. But right now I have it as a 50-50 fight. Ryan Bascom, he drops his right hand when he jabs. Doesn't mean his jab isn't awesome, just that he's open for the check hook. But the thing is that if you watch every single boxer, every single one at some point in time, drops that right hand when they jabbing. When they jabbing harder, every single boxer does that, bro. I can find you screenshots and start sharing screenshots. Look at Floyd Mayweather. I can find you 1,000 screenshots of Floyd Mayweather jab. Like all the best fighters, Muhammad Ali. I'll find you the best with a jab and the other hand is right here. That's bogus, bro. Everybody does that. Nobody throws every jab like this. That's cap. Nobody does that. That's in amateur boxing. Even Floyd Mayweather said it. Only in amateur boxing you see this. Even in this fight versus Brian Norman Jr., you're gonna see that Dev landed some of those bazooka jabs with the hand down here, boom down here. Floyd Mayweather, the greatest of all time. You saw that. So there's no such thing as you seeing a fighter doing it every single time like this. Nobody. That's in amateur boxing that you see that shit. In amateur boxing. But in the pros, you see this all the time, and people got it already down here. You know why they already got it down here? Because from right there, they're going to go like that. Look. Boom. There's a strategic reason for that. Because guess what? If you got the punch up here, you could punch from right there, but you don't punch the same that when you got it right here. That shit is cocked back and loaded. So that's what you got to see. People do this. And while this is out here, this one is already unloading from right here with the shoulder, with the foot pivot, everything behind it. Boom! You're always going to see that. There's no such thing as a whole fight. That's amateur boxing. Amateur boxing only. Side. Check bust jab versus Spence. He was parring Spence's jab with the backhand while throwing his own jab. Come on now. But Terrence Crawford, he really be the matrix out there. On the inside, he does a lot of things that you don't even see, that you don't even notice. Terrence Crawford will manipulate his opponent to stay where he want him to stand so he could be where he want to be. He'll move him. Yo, they'll be punching him and he'll move you a little bit to the left. Bang! Move you a little bit to the... Yo, Crawford does shit that you don't even see, that you don't even realize he's doing. Ryan Bascom, I'm afraid you're the first one of the first to make that argument to me. And I'm telling you, my brother, if you see me making an argument, you could fact check me. You could look at all the best fighters, and you'll see what I'm talking about. George Jackson, Terrence Buck Crawford is the greatest of all time, bro. There's an argument that could be made for that. There's an argument that could be made for that. Me personally, I already have him as top 10 all time right now. And the moment he wins a title in this division at 160, I already say top 5 all time. And then for me, if he becomes undisputed, that's it. If he becomes undisputed in a 4th division, Terrence Crawford is the greatest fighter of all time. That's it. There will be no getting around that. My peoples, let me take a commercial break so I could hydrate, grab me a glass of water. We still going in, my peoples. Hold on. Wes Dustin, we need Jay Smith and Max Kellerman podcast. You know what's interesting that you say that, Wes Dustin? Max Kellerman is actually one of the first guys that inspired, no, not one. He's the first guy to inspire me to do what I'm doing now. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you guys why. Hold on one second. I'm gonna tell you guys why Max Kellerman is actually one of the guys who inspired me. Kellerman is the guy, right? I'm gonna tell you why Max Kellerman inspired me, my people. I actually not started watching him, but the first time I seen Max Kellerman, he was actually on public access TV. And the, it's funny because the first time I saw him, I realized that I reacted towards him the same way a lot of people reacted towards me when I started doing this. The first time I seen Max Kellerman on public access TV with a cheap ass camera that I don't know if he was in his basement or where he was at, I was like, yo, who the hell is this guy? Who he think he is? Who? Why am I even gonna listen to this dude? Right? But then I ran across like channel surfing. I ran across Max Kellerman a couple of times, and I said, let me listen to what this guy has to say. The reason Max Kellerman inspired me, my peoples, is because he was doing what a lot of us are doing now when social media didn't exist. Max Kellerman put his own money up, which I'm sure it wasn't a lot of money because it was public access TV, but he put his own money up and did his own show where he was talking boxing. And imagine public access TV. Oh, nobody was watching that shit. Just like when I'm getting on, there's 5 people, 10 people. Nobody was really watching Max Kellerman. But what happened is that little by little, people realized, damn, this guy's talking some real shit. This guy really knows boxing. They started to understand that Max Kellerman actually had interesting things to say about the sport. You know, he had good talking points and good arguments to make. So just like everybody else, I started watching him. So fast forward, 20 years or whatever it is, when I decided, okay, I want to create content, it made me think about Max Kellerman and how he was able to do it like from the bottom, get it from the mud. Max Kellerman is a guy that really got it from the mud. And he went against the odds. You know why? Because Max Kellerman never fought. He ain't never been a boxer. He ain't never been in the ring. He ain't never threw a punch or got hit with a punch. So if you ain't never been in the ring, the odds are against you making it in boxing. You gotta bring something to the table. This guy's never been in the ring either. Um, Showbiz, the entertainer. But the entertainer, he's good. He's good at what he does. But the point is, my people, with Max Kellerman, when I saw him do what he do and make it as far as he has, and now look where he's at now, I was like, damn, why I can't do that shit? Why I can't do it? So he became one of my inspirations. He became one of the people that I saw doing it that I felt like, damn, if he could do it, I could do it. Because I got a lot of respect for Max Kellerman, but I tell you what, I could sit down with him. I'd be happy to sit down and debate with him any day of the week. With love, because I got love and respect for Max Kellerman. Would love to debate him on anything. Just because I know that he's so knowledgeable. So we gonna be going back and forth. West doesn't, but I'm still whooping him. Love Max Kellerman, but I'm still whooping him if me and him go back and forth. The only thing is, I cannot even attempt to go back and forth with Max Kellerman on some historian type of shit. Because I know there's a lot of fights that happened a long time ago that he knows about more than me. I know he knows his history as far as who fought who and when. I know that. I can't mess with him when it comes to that. West does it. Hard work, dedication, Jay Smith. That's it. That's it. That's what it's all about. Hard work and dedication. And you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your craft. Wes doesn't. You an entrepreneur. You know what it takes to get to where you at. You know how many times you had to trip and fall to get to that level. It didn't just happen. So it's a process. Side, that HBO production was fire. Oh man. Listen, Boxing After Dark was my favorite HBO boxing series. And it's because the way they matched fighters at that time, or at least for those cards, it's like you always got a real good fight and you always got a great main event every single time. Boxing After Dark from HBO. That was crazy. But my peoples, Ryan Bascom, Showbiz the adult, knows his shit too. He know his shit. I mean, sometimes he be saying goofy shit, and sometimes he be saying biased shit. Like I could tell, to me, it looks like he's picking sides. You know, he's picking. You know, I don't know, but he know his shit. See, that's the thing. If you never box, right? You never been in the ring, never been involved with boxing, but you put yourself in a position where you're talking to boxers consistently. You're talking to trainers. You're talking to coaches. You're going to the fights. You're going to the gym. Eventually, you're going to acquire a lot of knowledge too. There's going to be little things that you're not going to have, but for the most part, you're going to have a lot. You're going to have a lot. Now, if you've never been in the ring, obviously you don't know what it is to punch somebody. You don't know what it is to get hit. So there's little things that you're not gonna have a better understanding than me of how that went down inside the ring, or how that was set up inside the ring. But there's a lot of knowledge that these guys are gonna have. Side, he does it for the clicks and views. Showbiz has casual takes on purpose when he knows better. I see that too. I see that he says things that he knows that people are gonna react to it, and he's an entertainer. You gotta remember, a lot of people don't even know this. You know what Showbiz was before this? Before he did boxing, he was a rapper. He was a rapper. And guess what? If you're a rapper, one thing you know how to do is express yourself, is talk, is be entertaining. He didn't make it in rapping, made it in boxing. Still made it. Side, he definitely has some hate for Bud though. He looked super goofy when it came to Bud. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. That Showbiz the entertainer, there's times where what I'm seeing is bias from him. Like he don't like this guy, so he's gonna drill in that direction. Shy Guy is either talking to a boxer versus a YouTuber. Shy Guy, it's different talking to a boxer versus a YouTuber. That's a fact. That's a fact because a YouTuber is gonna look for things that are gonna get clickbait, for things that are gonna be interesting. They love conspiracies. They're gonna tell you about stuff that maybe could. So it's gonna be a different ball game. They trying to entertain you. I'm trying to talk boxing, and if you love boxing, we're gonna be entertained by that. Ryan Bascom, tons of people ate crow with Terrence Crawford. Man, listen, crow, crow was for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for weeks. For weeks, bro. Just think about how much time people spend drilling in on Crawford is gonna get knocked out by Canelo. That was the narrative. Canelo's gonna knock him out. Even De La Hoya was like, please, man, he don't stand a chance. Canelo's gonna wipe the floor with him. Like this guy moving up 2 weight classes, he's gonna get brutalized. Kenrick Mercer, yo, Jay Smith. You know about this dude, Ivan Garcia? Sounds familiar, but not somebody that I know like that. It sounds like somebody that they mentioned to me before. Matter of fact, right here on the chat. but I'm not familiar. Ryan Bascom, Crawford's victory went against all conventional boxing wisdom. Not necessarily. And I tell you not necessarily because I saw him winning. I felt confident that he was gonna win. And I can contradict you by telling you that what happened is what was supposed to happen because skills pay the bills. People banked on the bigger fighter. I banked on the more skilled fighter. And subconsciously, most people knew that Terence Crawford was the more skilled fighter that night. You know why? Because it was rare to hear anybody say that Canelo got more skills. The whole argument was there's weight classes for a reason. He's bigger, he's stronger. Crawford's not going to be able to handle the power. The whole narrative was always about the size and the power. And that's what I'm going to argue. Well, conventional wisdom suggests that the best is always going to win, the more skilled fighter. So Terence Crawford was the more skilled fighter out of the two. Ryan Bascom, he won because he was able to take Canelo's power. It's not about being able to take Canelo's power. Canelo never landed the shot to knock him out. Canelo never landed the shot that he didn't see coming. He never threw a shot that he overcommitted and boom, got clipped with a punch he didn't see coming. You have to understand, Ryan, Canelo has the power to knock Crawford out. And Crawford has the power to knock Canelo out. But both of them had the skills to stay away from that knockout punch. See? So while you making it about the power, it never been about the power. It was never going to be about the power. It was going to be about who's more skilled. I said that before the fight. The power was not going to be the factor that everyone thought it was going to be. Because that punch that you needed to sleep Crawford, it was never going to land. It was never going to be there. Carrick, facts, Ryan, but he outdid him too. Come on, man. We gotta take into consideration that he did take his power, but it's not about the power because the finishing crazy punch, Canelo never landed nothing like that. There was never a shot where Canelo actually, boom, landed mad clean. Oh, shit. That never happened. So when you're talking about taking his power, of course, it's just that people thought that Crawford can take a shot. Guy's been in the ring over 40 times. It's crazy to think that he can't take a shot. Fought a lot of people that could hit hard and been hit with a lot of good shots. But the whole narrative, who got born, heard him 10 years ago. So imagine what Canelo's going to do now, which that didn't even make no sense. It made no sense at all. People just thought. The same way people thought Devin Haney was going to get beat up because, oh, look what Ryan Garcia did to him. It was the same thing. Oh, look what Gamboa did to him. That never works out well. Never works out well. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that really counts is the two guys that are facing each other that night. Not what happened in this other fight or in that other fight, how we fight each other today. Ryan Bascom is more than one shot power. He endured. That's why. The better boxer. The better boxer won. That's just the reality. We could find a whole bunch of explanations around the win, but at the end of the day, Terence Crawford moved up and beat Canelo Alvarez at his own weight class with no rehydration clause. Any conversation to say why, it's just in the closet hate for Terence Crawford. Kendrick Mercer, true, Jay Smith. That's why I say he outdid him. Outdid him in every way, shape, or form. Outdid him with the jab, outdid him with the footwork, outdid him with the combinations. What's the better boxer? What's the better? And I'll tell you like this, guys. If they fight again, it's either going to play out the same way or Terence Crawford is going to beat him worse. Because he's simply better than Canelo. He's better than him. Right now, it's going to be Canelo looking for that payday. It's going to be Canelo looking for it. And I tell you that because I find it hard to believe that he thinks he could beat Crawford after that fight. How? Bro, you was out there confused. You say yourself you didn't even know what, like, it was nothing you could do. Gave it your best. Come on now. MS, facts, J. Smith. You said it yourself. So now you want a payday. Because you know you're going to get your ass whooped. Ryan Bascom, I agree. He beats him again. Worse. Shackle hands, that payday, and a way out. That's it. Get you. And the thing is that Canelo, he has so much money that he don't need a payday. But let me grab another one on the way out. Because I don't see him. When somebody's better than you. Think about this, my peoples. Sports is sports, right? Most of us play something, whether we play basketball, whether we play, sports that you play one-on-one. Because you could play one-on-one in basketball, you could play one-on-one in other games that we play. You know when you find somebody as a kid that's just better than you? That's just better than you. At whatever sport, whatever game it is. It could be anything. It could be skating. It could be skateboarding when you was a kid. It could be biking. Whatever it is that you did. But there's somebody that's better than you. And they just better than you. They ain't shit you could do. Now you could keep practicing for years and try to catch up. But they just better than you. So Terence Crawford is simply better than Canelo. When they fight, we're going to see the same thing happen. If this would have been a very close fight, if it would have, if Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez would have been the type of fight that it was a controversy at the end, it was the type of fight that we don't really know who won it, we're debating that, it's a split decision and Canelo got robbed, then I would have sat here and told you guys, you know what, that fight needs to happen. That fight needs to happen because, people feel like Canelo got robbed. People feel like Crawford didn't really win. That fight needs to happen. Cool. But the way that it played out, come on, my people. The way that fight played out between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, nobody need a rematch but Canelo. None of us believe that he could beat Crawford. There's very little people who believe it after the way the first fight played out. Kendrick, Ryan Bascom, you talking about David Benavidez? Man, the Mexican monster. Wes Dustin, Turkey is only going to give Canelo that money for a good fight. What else is there to fight? But is the safer than Bivol or Benavidez. That's why we hear Kendrick. So obviously they're going to give him all that money. It's got to be big fights. But let's see. I guess based on the amount of money that they giving him, he's going to fight 2-3 more. 2-3 more fights for Canelo Alvarez. Get his ass whooped by Terence Crawford, and then let's see who's next. Let's see how that whole situation plays out. But I'm going to tell you right now, my peoples, Canelo Alvarez, with the type of money that he got, he'll never go broke. He's good. I just don't think he wants to go out on a loss. So if he does the rematch with Crawford, which is looking like it's going to happen, he'll take a L and then find somebody else that he could beat to retire on a W. Wes Dustin and Billy. And Billy, I don't know, bro. I don't know if Billy is the guy Canelo want to get in the ring with, to be honest. He could be problematic. I don't know if that's an option he want to go with. That's my take, though. That's my take. I don't know if Billy is somebody that Canelo, I mean that that Canelo wants to fight. Shaku Hands, yes he does. You think Canelo wants to fight and Billy? Ryan Bascom, yeah, he should go ahead and fight Benavidez and save his legacy. Won't erase the duck, but he will have fought him. Nah, I don't. Honestly, I don't see it that way because right now Benavidez is in a different weight class. Not just in a different weight class, Benavidez is in a division where Canelo moved up and took a loss. So it would actually be dumb to take a fight versus a guy that's gonna beat you up so that fans can say, oh look, but he didn't duck, but he got beat up. That don't make no sense, bro. If you know you're gonna get beat up out there, watch me when I tell you this. Canelo Alvarez legacy is secured. He's the first battle Hall of Famer, one fighters of all time, and he's gonna be in the all-time great. You know, he don't need to erase duck. You don't have to do that. He's still legacy secured. Believe it. Ryan Bascom, yeah, you're right. Still duck. Okay, it's like I told you. No matter how much you say he ducked, the record books don't record that. It's only bitter fans. Bitter fans record that shit. But the record books, they not gonna say, look at all these accomplishments, but he ducked. You're gonna say that. You can repeat it as much as you want. But honestly, nobody's gonna give a fuck about that shit, bro. Legacy intact, secured. Shaku Hands. Nelo like to maul cats. That first battle Hall of Famer. That's what I'm saying. He's our first battle Hall of Famer. When you look at the resume, you know, he's not going to be remembered for not fighting Benavidez. He's going to be remembered for all the titles that he won, for the divisions that he conquered, for becoming undisputed. That's what he's going to be remembered by. And it's not just Canelo Alvarez. It's fighters in general. When you accomplish, it's only a segment of boxing fans that'll bring up the things that you didn't do or your losses or where it didn't go right. But then history, the way it records it, what did you win? What title did you put around your waist? Who did you beat during your career? And that's really what's going to be recorded in history. Ryan Bascom, how quickly we forget. Best resume in boxing. We forget real quick. Like, bro, look at Devin Haney. Devin Haney had that little speed bump versus Ryan Garcia, and he was already being counted out, bro. Devin Haney's scared. He's washed. He's done. He's never going to be the same after Ryan Garcia. I heard all that shit. One fight. One fight, bro. And people abandon all of them accomplishments to say that that's it, he's cooked. Over one fight, they had him getting knocked out by Brian Norman Jr. So boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport with the fans. As soon as you take a loss, as soon as you take a dip, oh, you either a hype job or you're washed up or you're not the same anymore, all type of stuff. But at the end of the day, we have to look at the totality of the resume, not just one fight. That's why, look, that's why when it was about Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., I felt comfortable with my prediction that Devin was gonna win that fight. Because I'm not making my entire assessment off of, oh well, Ryan Garcia got to him. So that means that Brian Norman Jr. is gonna knock him out. Which is the mistake that a lot of people make. No, Devin Haney, he did look. Yo, yesterday somebody told me Devin Haney became the truth. Like, bro, Devin Haney been the truth since he was the youngest undefeated champion. Where you been? You been hiding under a rock. He been the truth. That just didn't go away. He's been that. That, what he's been, is the reason why I expected him to win this fight by unanimous decision. Ryan Bascom, nah, I was with you on Haney. He's still Haney and always was. But in the comments, you can see how people kept discrediting, kept diminishing him. They made it all about the Ryan Garcia fight. Not expecting that it's still the same Devin Haney. Just like it was still the same Errol Spence that got beat by Crawford and people don't know how to accept it. The accident, he had an accident, right? The accident went away so he could beat Danny Garcia, a world caliber fighter. The accident went away so he could beat Ugas, a reigning world champion. But the accident came back so that he could fight Crawford. That's just the way it is. People come up with a narrative to simply not give credit to the best fighter. Ryan Bascom, yeah, they did count Haney out. Yo, according to some people, Devin Haney was done and he was never going to be the same again. Never going to be the same again. Well, ask Brian Norman Jr. You're damn right he's not going to be the same again. He punching hard as fuck at 147. So I guess so. Mike, Jay, Ryan absolutely disrespected boxing through the Devin Haney fight buildup. He deliberately used PEDs and blatantly disrespected my entire black race. I feel he's inappropriate for boxing. Respect. Respect. So I'm going to say this, Mike. I 100% understand everything you say. And for a while there, I was actually with you. And what I mean by I was with you, let me clarify. I was very upset with a lot of the things that Ryan Garcia was saying. The racist stuff, it bothered me a lot. But what kind of eased me up on that is that then I heard people from his own circle saying, yo, we got black friends. We hang out with black people. Ryan Garcia got. And within their inner circle, them having that conversation of, yo, you know, this is some old social media shit. And some people might ask y'all about this and all of that. So, honestly, there was a point where I believed Ryan Garcia was a racist. And I was like, that's it. I'm not messing with him. I'm not supporting him. I'm done. But then I've seen enough or I heard enough to feel like, nah. You know, there's just things that you don't troll with. Because if you troll with that, you can convince people that you're being for real. And then it's going to be a problem for us to believe that that's not the case. But honestly, I believe that he's not a racist. As far as the build-up, and this is something that a lot of people don't believe, but I do. I honestly, sincerely believe that Ryan Garcia was dealing with a mental health episode. And he was dealing with a lot of situations mentally. And let me tell you something, Mike, for you to really consider. One of the toughest challenges of dealing with mental health issues is that in most cases, a person could be going to therapy, could be going to a psychiatrist, could be going to somebody for evaluations and help and assistance. But they don't tell nobody because people are going to say you crazy and all that. And then that's medical stuff that it all stays private. So Ryan Garcia could be going through it, but me and you wouldn't know it. So you're assessing him as a regular person who's just being disrespectful. But I'm assessing him as somebody who's really going through shit in his personal life. Like I remember, when they was preparing for the Devin fight, when he had that interaction with the police officers, when they took his cell phone, one thing that was not publicized, and I promise you, I figured this out because I'm the human algorithm. Everybody in here that already knows, you guys know how I analyze, assess, right? Yo, Ryan Garcia maybe, I don't know if it was like 2 months before the fight with Haney, police went to where he was at, and they did like a, is it a 50-50 hold, 60-28, I don't know. They did a hold where they take you against your will, and they take you to a place for you to be evaluated, straight jacket and all that, because they think you might hurt yourself or you might hurt others. You're having an episode, right, a mental episode, and they take you for that. Ryan Garcia went through that, and it was never publicized because that stuff stays private. It's sealed records. But how do I know he went through that for a fact? Because remember when that video came out that he had the police interaction, and he was like, "Yeah, but I'm good. Why are you guys questioning me? We're here. This is where we." And Buddha, they was like, "You gotta turn the camera off." The police took the camera from him, right? And when they took the camera from him, it was 2 days before Ryan Garcia went on camera again. And when he came on camera again, all his shit was deleted. And that's when he started talking about the rants. They took all my shit. They took my phone. They trying to set me up. And that's when he started talking about the alias and all that other stuff. So while you see it, and I understand that's just disrespect to boxing, I see somebody that was really, really going through it, bro. Really going through mental episode shit. And what people don't understand, going through mental episode stuff doesn't mean that you can't do the regular things that you do in life. You could still train, you could still fight, but that doesn't mean that you're not messed up in the head. And that's what I saw with Ryan Garcia. All those crazy things that we saw was that he was dealing with mental health episodes. Ryan Bascom, he looked nice with Danny Swift. Shaku Hands, not the incident, came back again. The accident came back again. The accident for Errol Spence, it went away so he could beat Danny Garcia, and it went away so he could beat Ugas for a title. And then it came back for Terrence Crawford like 3 years later after the accident. And I could never understand it really. Jay Petty, I got Mario in this one. Whoa, Mario Barrios. Listen, almost everybody has Mario Barrios beating Ryan Garcia thus far. Side, if someone shows you who they are, believe them. I'm on that F Ryan Garcia flex. That's the problem, side. If you don't know how to assess mental health, you don't know who they are. You don't understand who they are. You're judging them based on when they're having their mental health episodes. Omega, home. Ryan Bascom. I don't think Ryan Garcia intentionally took Osterin too little in his system for any benefit. He was suspended for non-disclosure. I mean, honestly, I don't know, because I don't want to go either way. You don't know if he just took it 2 months ago, and that's why when he got tested, it's too little bit in his system, or something could have been tainted. We really don't know. Wes Dustin, Ryan Rich for life. I don't give no millionaire an excuse. I still don't like him. He can afford therapy. Nobody else gets a pass. But I'm not saying nobody else gets a pass. But I'm saying, if I'm looking at somebody, that's me, Wes Dustin. That's how I am as a person. If I'm looking at somebody that I know is going through a mental health episode, then I'm not going to judge those actions. I'm going to judge those actions differently. Because I know that if you were not going through those mental health episodes, you will not be doing that. You will not be saying that. You will not be acting like that. And when you're not dealing with those mental health episodes, you don't do those things. And you don't. Look, let me tell you something, Wes Dustin. Why that's a subject that to me is important and sensitive. I want to tell you, Wes Dustin, about the whole mental health thing, right? Luckily for me, I don't deal with it. I'm good. But what I've understood about mental health is that a lot of times people going through mental health struggles get judged harshly. Like, I'll give you an example. I remember there was a guy who was on a on a sidewalk in New York City, and he had a can of beer, right? And with that can of beer, a police car was passing, and he threw it at the police car. And they jumped out the car right away, threw him in the floor, cuffed him, arrested him, and he went to jail for a minute. Spent like a year and a half in jail, some crazy stuff like that. And probation, parole type of. But this guy is dealing with mental health issues. This guy is dealing with a lot of stuff. So look what happens in mental health, West does. I want you to think about this because I've seen it and I have family that dealt with it. In mental health, when you deal with stuff like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, when you deal with stuff like that, you get medication for it, right? They give you medication. So you see what you're saying, Wes does it, that Ryan, he got money, he could get therapy and all that, right? Perfect. Well, when you get therapy and you got these diseases, you gotta take medication to keep you balanced. But you know what happens? That medication get people drowsy. And I've never taken it, but I've had people tell me it make them drowsy. It make them feel like they can't focus. It make them feel like they can't remember shit. It make them feel like they just confused all the time. Because it's constantly under that medication that you always got to take. So you know what ended up happening, West does it? Where most people who deal with mental health, they stop taking this shit. They stop taking it. And this is the most repetitive thing. If you consider this, West does it, sometimes you might give them a break. Sometimes. I'm not saying with Ryan, but sometimes. What happens is with people who deal with bipolar and all these other things is that they stop taking the medication because it make them feel like shit. And when they first stop taking it, that it wears off, they feel normal. They feel great. They feel just like me and you. They feel perfect. So then they all start to feel like I can beat this shit. I don't need to take the meds. Look, I'm feeling good. I'm good. I'm not wilding out. I'm not taking that shit no more. I feel alive. I feel awake. They start to feel real good because those meds keep them. So that good feeling of, oh shit, yeah, I'm sharp now. They want to feel that way, so they don't want to take those meds. And what happens when they don't take the meds? It's only a matter of time before the episodes start kicking in. I've seen it in person, and I know how it works. It starts with little goofy shit, with little joking around, and before you know it, this person is talking about they want to jump out the window and they want to murder everybody, and and somebody's after them, and so if I identify that someone is going through those type of episodes, I'm not just gonna judge them and say, nah, you got money and you could. Nah, I understand that you're dealing with something that's outside of your control. Can't control it. Just can't. If anything, I feel bad. Like, damn, man, look at this. And and I have empathy. I understand it. Because imagine if you got to always take a drug that's going to keep you confused. It's going to keep you, like you don't know what the hell you're doing, always forgetting shit. And when you stop taking that drug, you start feeling good right away. Trust me, Wes does say you might be in the same situation if you had to be there. Mike, mental health should not be used as an excuse for racism, brother. Whoa. Because if you're a racist, then you're a racist. No, you're getting it confused. I'm not using mental health as an excuse for being a racist. If you're a racist and you're dealing with mental health issues, you're still a racist and I don't like you and I'm not with you. What I'm trying to tell you though is that mental health can lead you to believe that you control about racism. So me and you, we understand that's no joking matter. We understand that that's not something you play with. But if you're dealing with mental health issues, you think it's okay. I see that. I understand that when you're dealing with mental health issues, you say stuff that you don't actually believe, that you don't actually feel. So, no way that I'm saying, oh, well, mental health makes it okay to be a racist. No, there's no excuse. Nothing excuses racism at all. Nothing in boxing to deserve special treatment. How has he earned Barrios? I mean, you're asking me, my brother. I don't know how to answer that question. That's a question that you would have to ask Barrios. I would say that he probably earned that fight by achieving a certain level of popularity that made Barrios interested in fighting him because he's gonna get a bag. That's how he earned it. If Ryan Garcia wasn't as famous as he is, as big of a name as he is, Barrios would not give him an opportunity. But Barrios is probably gonna get a career payday off for Ryan Garcia. That's probably why he earned it. And that's just my take. I don't know. That's just my take. Side, when you're drunk, you say what you're thinking more freely. Ryan Rance, we're all when he was drunk. Side, that's the problem that you're assuming that he was drunk. You have no idea how many medications was in his system and what episodes he was dealing with. But like I told you, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. If you feel that way, I respect it. But from my perspective, that was somebody dealing with mental health issues, and I'm not gonna judge him for that. I'm gonna say yes, there's things that you're not supposed to say, but like let me give you an example, and it's like what I said before. If you're a racist, if I think you're a racist, then you're gonna feel that energy from me. But if I think that you're trolling and you're really not a racist, I'm gonna call you out because that's a stupid way to troll. But I'm not gonna label you a racist if I don't think you are. Wes does it. I have a kid on psych meds for life. There's accountability that must be addressed when they're put out of crisis. You can control yourself then. I understand this one deeper that you know, good brother. Okay, my brother, but and like I told you, I have family members. I've seen uncontrollable outbursts. Cause you have a kid, right, who's on psych meds, but he's a kid. When he gets to Ryan Garcia's age, do you know that he's always gonna want to take the psych meds? Do you know? Like, can you be sure that he's not gonna find that moment who's gonna say, damn, let me try to take this. Let me not take this, man. I feel better when I don't take it. You think that he'll never encounter that in his life? Maybe. But I'm telling you, Wes does it. And maybe you have already seen that. Maybe you have already encountered the situation where your kid doesn't want to take it. But at some point, he may encounter it. So all I'm telling you is, Wes does it. Be your kid. If he doesn't take a med or he has, an episode, let's say in the supermarket, there's gonna be a lot of people in that supermarket that's not gonna understand him. That's gonna think he's a brat, he's misbehaved, he's not educated. But you as a father gonna know that it's just an episode and that's not really him. As a father, you're gonna have a better understanding of what's going on versus other people that are from the outside looking in. Because you know the mess that he's taking, you know the effect that those mess have on him. But with Ryan Garcia, we just watching TV. And you're just assuming, damn, he's fucked up. He's doing this, he's saying that. But you're not understanding what's going on up here. Wes does it. You're missing my point. When you're not in crisis, you fix the things you did. The boy never apologized to anyone. I'm not sure about that, bro. I'm almost sure he did. I'm almost sure he did, Wes Dustin. I'm almost sure that he did. that he apologized and actually said that he was going through a mental health episode. I'm almost sure that he did. I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe fact check you on that. Mike, Jay, he said out his mouth that he's a racist. But I totally respect your take, Jay. I worked in mental health for 20 plus years with a degree in psychology and social work. I respect your take as well. But it's like I told you, I'm not going by what he said. And I gotta tell you, I have some experience in psychology. I don't have a degree like you, so I'm not as advanced like you in that field. But I think one thing me and you both know then, neither one of us can make an assessment of for watching him on TV. Both of us will have to sit him down and have a conversation and ask specific questions to make a determination on anything. So what we're determining is solely based on what he said on TV. So you may feel like, well, he's good. And I'm like, nah. When he was acting like that, he was not in his right state of mind. That's what we're seeing it differently. Michael James, every time lying, Ryan go off and rant. It's not him. It's mental health. At some point, we gotta see this is him. I mean, but you're talking about we gotta see this is him, but it doesn't look like this is him when he be having episodes. It really does. It goes perfect with mental health issues. Because you're like, we gotta see. It's not, this is him, but what about the stuff about the aliens? That was him too. What about all the conspiracy stuff that he was talking about? That was him too. So, like, it's almost like you ignore all the shit that he says that it sounds like he's dealing with mental health issues, and you only cling on to the things that you really didn't like. Oh, look, he's so racist because he said all this racist stuff. Okay, but what was he when he was saying all the stuff about aliens? What was he when he was saying all that stuff about prediction? What was all that stuff when he was talking about he's God? Dude said he was God in one of his live streams. What was he then? So it's like, you can't take, this guy's having an episode of like, I don't know how long did that last? A week? 5, 10? I don't know, because he was bugging out. But then there was a moment where he was really going off the rockers. I don't know how much that lasted. But you can't just take, my brother, just the race, nitpick the racist things and be like, look, he said this about race and this. And you're nitpicking. You're not looking at the totality of everything that he was saying. There was a lot. Ryan Bascom, how do you know he didn't apologize to anyone? I mean, I'm almost sure, I'm going to have to fact check Wes Dussett on that one, because I'm almost sure that he actually posted a video saying, hey, look, I'm going through mental health situation. I'm sorry about what I said, blah, blah, blah. I'm almost sure he did a video of actually apologizing. But I'm going to have to look it up. Tay John, mental health or not? Listen, man, mental health, next level car review. Hope you're well, brother. Salute, my guy. Look, mental health is something that I honestly don't like to talk about it too much, because most people just don't accept it. Most people usually just think it's fake and they lie and so honestly, I don't even bring, I know that's how I feel about it, but if somebody else feel like, no, he lied, he don't got no mental health, listen, based on my assessment, Ryan has been taken into custody against his will. He's been in a straitjacket. He's been mentally evaluated, probably gets therapy all the time, but because all this stuff is sealed and it cannot be released to the public, people just don't know. But I know Ryan Garcia been going through it. Ryan Bascom, he did. I remember that video. That's what I'm saying. Wes Dussett is saying he never apologized to nobody. I'm sure that after that whole episode, after he got arrested and all that, I'm almost sure that I remember a video where he's like, I'm sorry. I've been going through mental health situation. I've been going through episodes and I didn't really mean to, like a real elaborate apology. JJ said that men's health and mental health, get help if you need it. Everyone. The thing about mental health is that unfortunately with us men, we don't accept it. We just don't accept it. Every time a man is dealing with mental health, oh, he lying. Oh, he faking. Ah, ah. It's almost like we're supposed to be robots. We're supposed to be machines. And and that's why I say I'm more empathetic when it comes to mental health than most people. Because I try to get in somebody else's feet. I've seen people having episodes. I've seen what that looks like right there, point blank range. And you know what's crazy? While I'm seeing somebody having an episode that is obvious to me, yo, there's people around us that's like, nah, man, nah, he playing dumb. He playing dumb over there. Don't play dumb. He playing dumb over there. If a man is having a mental health episode, he playing dumb. Or he's stupid. Or he is dumb. So, unfortunately, man, around men culture, mental health is not really accepted, bro. That's just the reality. Mental health is not accepted. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, my people. And let me tell you something. A lot of us, at one point or another, dealt with mental health. A lot of us. A lot of us dealt with mental health. What do we do when we dealing with a situation that's affecting us? We gotta shut up and not talk about it and just let it break us on the inside and our mental health killing us because we can't talk about it. We say that we struggle mentally. Hey, you're weak. You're a little bitch. Sorry, Tan had a mental health episode when he put pause on them women too. Come on, man. Stop with the jabs at Tank, man. Leave Tank alone, bro. Like, stop. Listen, Tank Davis was giving out turkeys, giving out coats, giving out clothes to the people of Baltimore, taking pictures with the kids. That's it. We gotta let that go. That's the past and he dealing with it. I want to see Tank Davis fighting. And you guys know there's a lot of big fights to be made out there. But the whole thing about the mental health, the topic of mental health, my people, it's a very complex subject because if you accept it, then there's things that you're gonna see and you judge differently. If you don't accept it, you're always gonna have that stance. I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna hear it. That's fake, he lying and all that. So we're just gonna have a different perspective. But if you see it differently than I, that's what Boxing for Breakfast is about. We don't have always the same perspective, the same talking points. My peoples, the question remains. The question remains. Is Ryan Garcia gonna be able to beat Mario Barrios? Jay is in the house. Exactly, Jay Smith. Old school way. Drink a beer, go fishing, hunting, and get over it. That's it. Find something to do, figure out something to do, and get over it yourself. Cause, oh no, look, JJ's in their house. The old school way is different. Because today, you got a lot of people telling you, yo, reach out for help. If you need help, hit me up. If you need help, call me. Hotline. Yo, if you thinking about these things, call here. Back in the day, JJ, there wasn't shit. You better not tell nobody, oh shit, man, I'm just dealing with stuff. They gonna be like, you dealing with stuff? Man, get your soft ass out of here with that shit. Nobody wanna hear you dealing with no stuff. So back in the day, bro, there was no help. You figure that shit out on your own. Today, at least, there's a lot of different avenues somebody could take if they dealing with mental health. And it's like I told you, with Ryan Garcia, I believe that he, has gone through episodes because you see the person that he is and how he behaved, and when he's going through those episodes, he's somebody else. He's a different person. I see it. A whole different person. Can he beat Mario Barrios? That's a tough fight, my people. And I'm not even gonna make a prediction right away. I can't make a prediction right away because it's really competitive on Laced. Salute, my brother. This is a real competitive fight. Ain't nobody. I hope people don't start making those type of predictions about who getting washed and who getting beat up, and ain't nobody getting washed in this fight. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be one of those fights. But if he wins, if he can beat Mario Barrios, Devin Haney might be next. If he can beat Mario Barrios and become a world champion, we might get Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, the rematch as a unification title fight in the welterweight division. Who the hell wouldn't want to see that? Who wouldn't want to see Devin versus Ryan? Come on, my people. Be honest. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. It's a fight that we want to see the rematch because of the way the first fight played out, because they don't like each other, because Devin Haney sued Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia been trying to troll Devin Haney on social media. Like, yo, this fight has to happen. And it's going to be one of those fights where, you know, the build-up is going to be crazy. The fight itself is going to be crazy. JJ's in the house. Exactly, Jay Smith. If you're old school think, when you ask your dad or grandpa about it, they will tell you, man up, little bitch. You don't know what problems are. You know, we living in a different era. In this era, you allowed to be soft. You couldn't do that shit back then. We from the era where if you got home talking about some kid beat you up, they gonna beat you up for getting beat up. Don't come over here talk about you got beat up. Come over here talk about somebody trying to hit you and you fought back and y'all got into a fight. You show up talking about you got beat up. Now you need to get beat up again. It was different, my peoples. Shaku hands. We missed y'all last night on the unveiling show. Don't worry, my brother. Monday, we're going to get it popping. JJ's in the house. That would be a good fight. I would like to see it. Monday, my brother, this upcoming Monday, we're going to get it popping. So for those of you who don't know, the name of the new show coming up on Box Center 2.0, Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast. That's the name of the show right there, my peoples. So Monday, the first show is going to go live. You're going to see a phone number. And you guys will be able to call via WhatsApp, whether you want to make a prediction, whether you want to argue, whatever it is. You're going to have a whole minute to go at it with your boy Jay Smith. Late show. What's up? Salute, family. Bam. So, subscribe to Box Center 2.0 because Goofiest of the Oofiest is going to drop on Monday. It's going to drop on Monday night. I'm not going to give you the time yet. I'm going to send a notification out. But my peoples, do not miss out on Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast, because you're going to see that hotline be on fire. Side, that title got me dead. I'm saying though, I think it's a reasonable title, taking into account that type of shit that we gotta deal with in boxing. Come on now. I had to have a title, because boxing for breakfast makes perfect sense, right? Eating breakfast, talking and listening to boxing, on your way to work, early in the morning. Makes perfect sense. Well, Goofiest of the Oofiest, that made perfect sense. We're gonna go at it, my peoples. We're gonna go at it. The debut episode on Monday night. I'm not dropping the time yet. Be on the lookout for the notifications. It's gonna be crazy. Shaku hands. I said, no, you didn't, Jay. I'm telling you. And I said, yes, I did. JJ Sendejas, goofiest of the oofiest for the goofballs boxing channel. That's what I'm telling you, my peoples. I'm sure 100% that you guys are going to enjoy this show. And look what I put on there. It drops on November 30th. Bro, but November 30th is not Monday. Monday is December 1st. Had to start off with some goofy ass shit. So again, my peoples, I'm looking forward to debuting Goofiest of the Oofiest with you guys because of that. That's the reason right there why I can't wait to debut the show. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my people. Right there. Right there. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So when the show kicks off on Monday, instead of seeing that, bang! When the hotline open up, you're just gonna see a phone number drop right there. Boom! And when you see that phone number, it's open season, my peoples. Everybody and anybody could call in. And by the way, you're not gonna have to waste a shitload of money to try to make an international call. You're gonna be able to call on WhatsApp. There you have it. So if you don't already have WhatsApp, download that shit and it's gonna be on starting Monday. Shaku hands, Jay, the number. One goofiest with that date. I'm telling you, it's goofiest of the oofiest. We had to do some goofy ass shit like at the wrong date ended. But on Monday, when the show goes live for the first time, of course I'm gonna do a little intro and everything. When I say let's get it, you're gonna see the phone number right there. And everybody else is gonna be able to call in. And I'm telling you, my peoples, if YouTube let us rock, it's gonna be epic. That's the reason why I had to come up with Box Center 2.0, because I don't know if they're gonna block the whole channel over that show. It's like I told you, we're gonna be cursing each other out. You know, some people's gonna be getting cooked, and you're gonna see me like, yo, man, pack this motherfucker out of here. Pack these motherfuckers out of here. So, hopefully, YouTube is gonna let us do what we gonna do, my peoples, because it's gonna be serious out there. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. Y'all already know. Make sure you subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. The link is right there. Click on that link. JJ said, get them the fuck out of here. You see what I'm saying, JJ? It's gonna be going down. It's gonna be going down. By the way, my peoples, I want to say something. Let me give y'all my word of the day, because I was about to get out of here on y'all. But before I get out of here, I want to give you the word of the day. Michael James, peace, family. I want to give you guys the word of the day. The word of the day from Jay Stradamus is gratitude. Gratitude. You know why? Sometimes we're not grateful for what we have. We're not grateful for the people that got love for us, for the people that show us love. And you gotta be grateful. You gotta appreciate people. Appreciate the people who appreciate you. So while I'm at it, I just want to say JJ Zendejas has been one of my biggest supporters since I started Box Center with Jay Smith. Since I started Boxing for Breakfast, I think JJ has seen every single episode of Boxing for Breakfast. And let me tell you guys something. JJ Zendejas, when I started made the memberships available for the channel, JJ Zendejas got a 1 year membership. And I'm not asking anybody. I wouldn't ask anybody to get a year membership. Obviously, you're spending more money if you're getting it for a year than if you're just paying once a month for the month that you want it. But when you get a membership for a whole year, what you're saying is, I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing. I believe that a year from now, you're still going to be here and you're going to be killing it. That means a lot to me. So I want to give a special shout out to my brother JJ Zendejas, who not only subscribed, got a membership for a year, but behind the scenes, he's been showing me love and support as well. Behind the scenes, when you guys don't see it, when you guys don't know it, hitting me up privately to show his support for me. So JJ Zendejas, my brother, I really appreciate you, and I will keep living up to the expectations and giving you guys this fire. So my peoples, if you got somebody, whether it's a family, whether it's a friend, whether it's a stranger, if you got somebody that supports you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you appreciate that. Sometimes we don't know how to appreciate the great people that we have around us. Appreciate that, my peoples. Life is only one. You're gonna meet a lot of pieces of shit and a very few amount of good people. Very few like this. So appreciate the real ones. JJ Zendejas, you're one of the real ones. One of the realest ones. My peoples, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Be ready for Monday. Box Center 2.0 is going to be crazy. It's going to be special. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to Sai, Shaq Cool Hands, JJ Zendejas, Corey B, Ike Mike, Wes Dusset, and everybody else who tuned in to this morning's episode. I appreciate you, my peoples. I'll see you guys tonight. Tonight, I'm going to go live and we talk a little bit more boxing, man. Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Jay Smith. I'm signing off. Peace.